welcome to my channel. This is Outright Oracle. I'm here with you, giving you a reading, and I really appreciate the fact that you came along and you clicked on this video. So what we're going to be covering today is the shadow self and how it drives us, you know, because we always want to focus on the happy-dappy, happy-go-lucky. Well, this channel isn't about that. Outright Oracle, I'm here to say it as I see it and be very straightforward, because I feel like the only way to really get a message across and really help another make better decisions and, you know, help each other out is to be straightforward with our communication. So, you know, straightforward. Straightforward. What does that remind you of? It reminds you of that's the quickest way from point A to point B, right? So that's what I'm all about. How to get that message across A to B. There you go. So we're talking about shadow today. We're talking about the parts of ourselves that we want to ignore, or the parts of ourselves that we don't want to really, claim. But guess what? They're just as much as part of your drive and your thoughts and your feelings and your actions as your, as your qualities that you want to embrace and display and share. So go ahead and pick a deck or a stack. This is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Go ahead. I'm going to give you a moment to do that. All right. You chosen a pile? Good. Okay, so go ahead and check the comments and even the description, and you'll find timestamps there. Also, you'll find a link to my website. I apologize if it looks bad on mobile, but I promise you it looks stunning on laptop or desktop view. So anyway, check it out. See ya. Hey, pile number 1. Thank you for choosing a pile, and thank you for spending some time with me on my video. So here you go. This video is for you. So this is how I tend to do it. I just lay out all the cards and I kind of read it as a whole. Let me stand up for a second and make sure that I'm getting all of this in frame, because it's just so difficult knowing exactly what my phone is getting. Let me just zoom on out. How about that? Okay. So we have Today for Tomorrow, Triumph of Lies, and Bride in a Cage. We have Temperance, Three of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. Then we have the Heart Chakra, Heartache and Loss. And there you go. I see you going off frame there. All right. There we go. So where was that? Heartache and Loss, Triumph and Success. And then our last card, I don't like how that's off center. Our last card is Abandonment. So I feel like, and let me get comfortable. Sorry about that. It's just how I have to do it, honestly. All right, so when I look at this, I'm seeing someone who's experienced trauma and hasn't quite, let me make sure you guys can hear me, but I don't want to be too up in your face here. No, I'm just gonna leave it back down there. Okay, so Sorry, I don't have much powerful editing software, so I can't really take that out as quite as well as I'd like to. So someone who's maybe experienced some sort of trauma. So I feel like you've experienced some trauma, but the thing is, I don't see you as someone who's tried to bury that. I don't see you as someone who's tried to bury that from themselves at least, because when I see Triumph of Lies, in the in its interpretation and its official interpretation, it's more about putting on airs. It's about appearance. So I can interpret that in many ways. Excuse me. I can interpret that in many ways. I can see that as, hey, you know, maybe you put a lot into your physical appearance. That's something also that's part of your dark shadow self. That you put a lot of stuff into your physical appearance, and that you really, really, really focus on the future as a way to not revel in like the traumatic events that, you know, I feel like maybe even you're someone who's had their soul split, like who's had some soul splintering going on. But I also see you as, you know, someone who, because I feel like you might be someone who's gone through multiple traumas. And the earliest trauma that you think of from time to time is maybe the feeling of abandonment or not getting enough attention from a parental figure, the abandonment, the lack of support goals. But the reason why I say that I feel like you're someone who's maybe come to a lot of terms with your shadow self and how your soul is splintered is because when I see the Temperance, I'm seeing someone who's able to heal themselves, make their own panacea, make their own medicines. I don't know if that means physically, like you're into medicinal herbs or alchemy, but I definitely see it as someone who's come to who's someone who said, you know what, I can put my soul back together. Maybe someone who's even done that with a intermediary, like someone who's like a therapist or something. Also, when I see Today for Tomorrow, it reminds me of people who grew up with less than, like the abandonment, who were saying, you know, who if you say, have you ever heard of the marshmallow test? Okay, I'm not like, once again, I say this in every video, I am not an expert, but I can paraphrase. A child who has grown up with lack, if you present them, most of the time, if you present them a marshmallow and say, hey, I can give you this marshmallow right now and you can have one marshmallow, or in an hour, I'll give you 2 marshmallows. Most of the time, the child of lack is going to say they're going to take the 1 marshmallow now, instead of someone who knows the idea or understands the idea of investment, or like someone who's grown up with, you know, they'll say, oh, I'll wait an hour for that marshmallow, so I can have 2 marshmallows. But when I look at these cards, I see that maybe you came from that kind of mindset and you're building toward, and you have already built toward understanding sometimes we have to sacrifice now for tomorrow, for the fruit of tomorrow, you know. We don't need to eat the seeds to survive. We can plant the seeds and have a feast tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like you've taken your not so great traumatic experiences and you are making them your weapon. You're making them your tool. Like here's the Ace of Swords. So it's like you're taking the same swords that have been stabbed in you, taking them out of your body and wielding them as your own tools and weaponry. So you have dealt with some really rough stuff, maybe as a child, maybe even as an adolescent, or, you know, but you have taken those already. So I feel like you're part of the bunch in this reading that's probably looking at this saying, yes, I do know my shadow. I have met my shadow, and my shadow is my friend. My shadow is my secret weapon, you know? So I definitely see with the Wheel of Fortune, you've turned the trauma on its head. You've turned the pain on its head. You've turned you've turned what is the word I'm looking for? It's almost as if you've taken the broken pieces of the glass slipper here, you know, and made them into a sword. You've taken the glass from the broken slipper, melted it down, and tempered it into a sword. That's what I feel like. Like you have known sacrifice, you know. I feel like that's what drives you to be successful. I think that you're on your way. You're on your way to really making something huge of yourself from that pain. Maybe it's art, maybe it's business. I feel like it's either art or some kind of art, whether it's performance or visual, or it's entrepreneurial. Like you're on your way to something very entrepreneurial. You really know what you want to do now because you communicate with your shadow and you know what it feels like to be driven by pain. So yeah, I think that you really got a good grip on this. You think about the future a lot. I gotta warn you, you want to fill your shopping cart up with future goods. Always be aware that sometimes when we overplan, you know, that gets us into trouble and that can break our heart. But other than that, I really feel like you've got that. You're that bitch. Oh yeah, sorry. I curse on my channel occasionally, so please, I hope you're not offended. But yes, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing with your pain. It's not just sitting inside of you. It's a tool now. It's a tool. All right, thank you, pal number one, and good luck with that. And you know, you seem like a very strong person. I'm proud of you. Hey, how do you do, pile number two? So, yeah, so welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for choosing me. Thank you so much for clicking the little thumbnail and seeing what this is all about. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started. Now, like I explained in the other one, how I like to do this is just lay this out and then explain the interpretations afterwards, so I can make sure that I got everything. Okay, let me make sure I got everything in the frame. Okay, so hiding your true self, black flower fragrance, gilded regret. 5 of Cups. Six of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. Throat chakra. Base chakra. Patience. And the middle card is Fortuity. So right off the bat, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, remember this is Outright Oracle. If you don't want me to be straight up with you, please click off the video. Thank you. So when right off the bat, what I'm thinking is you're a little bit of a brat. You're a little bit of, so you're someone who doesn't ever really seem to be satisfied. I see that you may have come to conclusions about that, brief little fluttering conclusions of that every once in a while. Like, hey, oh my gosh, I regret losing something that I didn't appreciate in the past. But now looking now, I'm like, oh, I had it made, I had to complain about it. So I feel like you're in those kind of situations a lot. I feel like you do have a lot. You have your basic needs met, like, to the T. But yet you continue to want to put on the airs of being depressed. Now, there are some people who are depressed. If you're one of those people who are seriously clinically depressed, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people who are depressed because they just realized that back in the day they had it made, but they had to complain. They had to, want more. And now they're just kind of like now realizing, hey, I just had everything. Oh my gosh. But I feel like right now when I'm looking at this, it's like you still have things handed to you. It's just because you had more back then, now you think that you have less. Like, I know that makes no sense because, like, if you had more back then and you don't have that now, then you do have less. But what I'm saying is like that you still feel like I feel like you're one of the people who gets wrapped up in first world problems. That's what it is you're like your first world problem type of person. Because when I originally pulled this, the Queen of Cups was upside down. To me, that's always like almost always like a whiny person or an emotionally manipulative person. You just realize the things you have, realize the things you still have, and realize that it's time to be grateful. It's time to be grateful. It's, I feel like you're very emotionally vocal, but due to the rest of the like cards and the nature of this reading, like I feel like it's definitely like the kind where it's like I'm opening my mouth to complain, about something that was given to me or something that I'm experiencing that's totally groovy, but you're like, well, that's not enough. That's not enough. If you're trying to regain what you had in the past, I highly advise you to be patient, because like even if you did like just suddenly come across all those great things in the past, it's not, this is a different time. This is a different experience. This is a different time. And those things may take more time to rebuild than when they were just handed to you. You see what I'm saying? So take your time to rebuild everything that you're looking for back to what you wanted, to the point where, from the point where you didn't realize how well you had it, but you still got it good. You still got it good. You're just complaining a lot. you got to realize and come to face with that part of yourself that feels like it's never enough. Hiding your true self. Yeah, I feel like that's, I don't know if I'd say that's quite two-faced. It's more like, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Okay, I got it. Yeah, it's the same. What I was saying was that, you also don't have to pretend to be depressed to get attention. So, yeah. You don't have to pretend to be depressed about what you've lost or, not enough attention. You can give yourself that attention too, and you can also be patient with people. Not everyone has like time 24/7 to hear you, wilt over the phone or face to face or whatever. Honestly, I just feel like you don't realize how good you have it, and maybe you should just take the time out to like chill up and be like, yo, I really do have a great. I even have people listen to me when I'm willing to complain. So really, that's all I have to say about this one. Just have a little patience. Have a little patience in building what you desire, and also have patience with people, and people will have patience with you. And realize that your basic needs are met, and that just because you don't have something that you used to have doesn't mean that you don't have anything. So good luck with that. Thanks. Bye. That was a short one. Thanks for joining me though. Excellent. Thank you for choosing pile number 3. Now, let's proceed. All right, so like I was explaining the other ones, I like to lay out everything before I just start explaining them. So we got artificial heart. I have a feeling that you already know what this is going to say and what it means. And revenge, you already know. You already know. I can feel you. You already know what I'm going to say. Masquerade. Nine of Cups. Hooray, that's the wish fulfillment card. But be careful what you wish for. The Knight of Wands. The Seven of Wands. Material and spiritual prosperity. Financial and material changes. Authority. And perception. Okay, so now that we have our little, I don't know what shape this is. I don't know what shape I was going for when I created this spread. I really don't. I don't know if it's like supposed to be a star or a pyramid or anyway. So let's attack this right here first. I mean, I'm not actually attacking you. I'm just using words carelessly. I'm sorry. But let's focus on that. Let's pinpoint on that for a minute. Let's pinpoint on perception. So I think that part of this is why you're driven to act this way. I already know you know what I'm going to say. So let's talk like we already know what like we already know what we're talking about. Okay. So part of what drives you is this feeling of inadequacy when you look in the mirror or when you think about yourself. It's this lack of power. You feel so powerless and so far behind. And I don't know if that really is true, But maybe it's time to take a little ease up on yourself. Maybe you felt like, your power's been taken away from you by authority. Maybe that. But I definitely feel like your money and your perception of power is really, really, really what makes you feel like it's your identity at this point. So, and you're the type that will do anything to preserve that sense of identity that you're trying to build right now. So you're really driven by power and money. And yeah, that's a dark trait. Everyone has dark traits. You're really driven by money and power. Like really. I think that you have a little bit of ruthlessness inside of you. Masquerade, it's a little official interpretation is like talking about like being able to have that power, even if it's for a few minutes, and even if it's not for a few minutes, have the power for a few seconds. You are thirsty for that power. You're thirsty for that. But I also see that if you I do see that you can do things with, you're really good at converting money into power. Like, money already has power on its own, but you're really good at like converting it into like muscle. So, into force. I feel like you put your feelings aside in order to get to those little droplets. When I saw revenge, it kind of made me think maybe you are also driven by getting back at authority, getting back at those in power. Like you just can't wait to take them on. Maybe you even have an idol who you just can't wait to put your brawn up against, your muscle, your power, your money up against once you get to that point where you're going. But I definitely see that you are the type, even if this isn't about money though. Let's say that it's not about money. Let's just say it's about clout and power and incinerating anyone who's standing in your way. I mean, I definitely see it as being able to go for that. You will fight for a little droplet of power too. You will fight. I mean, I don't know about physically or not, but like you go the extra mile to protect yourself. You protect your gains. So, like I said, I do see the wish card coming up there, the wish fulfillment card, but be careful what you wish for and try not to be so, what's the word? I'm not trying to ask you to declaw yourself, but don't be so eager to see blood. Yeah, I maybe this is like a I'll show them type of mindset too. I'll show them who's ugly, who's useless. It's good though. It's good that you're doing things to improve how you see yourself. But at the same time, remember that there's inner work to be done. It's not just outer work. It's not just gaining power so that you feel powerless, because at the end of the day, physical things can be taken away from you, and I know that's why you're so ready to fight. I know that's why you're so ready to fight for them. But at the end of the day, it's your dignity, the dignity that you built up inside of yourself before building the dignity in the form of influence, clout, and money you know, is the dignity you build inside of yourself too. Don't, you know, because what if one of those people turns around? What if this turns into a what do you call that? Typical anime fight situation where someone who you cut down on your way to the crown comes back and is like, you know, you destroyed me. I'm coming back to destroy you. I'm coming back to tear you down. You know, it's just, you know, they're able to do that and they take it away. I'm not saying make sure to take care of them all the way though, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you kind of want to be aware of what you're doing to the places and things and people around you, you know, and then also you want to be aware of the things and feelings that you're building up inside yourself. I know that you are able to like shut off your feelings so easily, but like when it all comes down to it, those feelings are going to catch up to you. I promise you they will. They will catch up to you in the dark of the night while you're trying to sleep. All right? So make sure that you're not causing too much damage on your way to, you know, that you're not causing too much damage in the forest to build your mansion. So, and then also make sure that you build that confidence in that mansion within inside of yourself, maybe alongside the money, but not intertwined with the money or the clout or the power. You know, make sure that you have a separate power, you know, because that's the one they're not going to be able to take away from you. Does that make sense? If it does, please comment down below. If it does not, please comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. I like you a lot. I'm just saying, be careful with yourself and with others. Okay? You are not a robot. You are not what you wish you could be, which is this robot that just gets stuff done, is laborious and takes care of any task and nothing can stop it. You know, you're not that. You are human, and so is everyone else around you. Hope that helped. Bye. File number 3.